Well, hello, Las Vegas. It's Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show, and I hope that you are having a lovely Saturday. And if you're not, you're about to, because let me tell you something. I've got the two gurus on the line today. Listen, you want to call family, friends, everybody, tune in right now, because you're about to be listening to some great nuggets that will enrich your life with some great knowledge that will definitely help you to excel. Okay. And if you don't, like I said, if this isn't for you, definitely share this information and these folks' contact information with who you know it will help and be a blessing to you. Guys know I'm always, trying to do whatever I can, learn whatever I can to just spread the word to my community, things that will help them. And one thing that we all struggle with, or well, at least I do, I can't say all of us, but I'm pretty sure at some point in our lives we have had struggles, some of us, most of us, with credit. So that's one of the main things when my listeners call in. A lot of them have some issues with credit. And that's always something that, that we could learn more about. So I have on the show today, I have got Mr. Gennaro Robert. He is our go-to guy for the credit. He is FCRA specialist. He is a FCRA specialist. The man, Gennaro Roberts, as well as, you guys know him, Anthony Valentino. He is my go-to lender. And so we all work together as a team. And so I thought it'd be a great idea to have Mr. Gennaro and Anthony on together. Hi, Gennaro. How are you doing today?
Wonderful. How are you?
That was a mouthful, right? I'm doing great. Anthony, are you there as well?
I am good. Happy Thursday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. So today's Saturday. Sorry, guys, we record on Thursdays, but today's is going to air on Saturday. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. Mr. Gennaro, you are with G6 Legal Group and Services. Is that right?
That is correct.
What services do you guys provide over there? Can you kind of let my listeners know?
Yeah, kind of. I guess what we do on the legal side, we sort of go through your credit report and look for FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act, FDCPA, and truth in lending law violations to help clean up or repair the credit. On the services side is when we help you reestablish yourself with credit cards, lines of credit, things of that nature. And more specifically, we sort of get you ready for mortgages. So when you want to buy a home or refinance, a HELOC or anything like that, to get your credit score high enough, then you kind of use us to do that. And then Anthony takes you across the finish line. And what his job is basically, and then he gets you the refinance or whatever it is you need to do with the mortgage. We try to stay with you another year to sort of make sure not only are you managing the debt correctly, but in some cases you need to refinance or do a HELOC. So we want to make sure your credit score is always high enough that you have those options available to you.
Absolutely. And Anthony, you have done you've sent Gennaro a client, and you've been ramping and raving about Gennaro, for a long time. Can you share a couple stories maybe of some clients that you've sent to Gennaro's company?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in our industry, speed and efficiency is what gets the cheese. Right. And so there are a lot of credit gurus that say they can do things, but they can never cash the check that their mouth's right.
Right.
And what happens is they string them along for months and years, and all they're doing is disputing the accounts that are just going to recreate themselves or be sold. Whereas what Gennaro does is he makes it go away forever. Right. And what he does is permanent. And for me, I don't see a successful transaction until we close. And so the faster I can get my client's credit up, the better for everyone. And that's why over the years, I don't know. Obviously I do know because he's a walking dictionary, and when it comes to credit and legal aspects.
Right.
But he knows, like, if I tell him, hey, Gennaro, I need this done within 30 days or 60 days, he'll tell me, yes, that can happen, and we're going to do this and this and this. And he gives me the outlook that I need to give the confidence the buyers need to say, hey, there's the end in sight. We can see this high credit score.
Right. And I want to jump in and say, when you say he can make things go away, guess what? He does it legally. Okay. No shady business here. He does it legally, right, Gennaro? So
that's correct. The stuff that you hear on YouTube and all of these people trying to get likes, 99% of that stuff is not true. What they do is they'll even show you. I've seen some of the guys show you this is what the law says, but they don't give you the whole law. One in particular, I had a lot of clients calling saying, "Hey, we're not allowed. They didn't have my permission to put it on my credit report. Therefore, it can be removed." That is true. The law says that they are not allowed to put anything on your credit report, but you have to make that agreement prior to accepting the credit. Mm-hmm. And all of the documents that you sign when you buy a car, get a credit card, or buy anything, you're giving them what's called permissible use. So you give permission, which allows them to report to the credit reporting agencies. Mm-hmm. They're right. You do not, but they don't have the legal right to do that. So you go to a car lot and say, "Hey, I want to buy this car." And they say, "Great, we want to sell you the car." You say, "I want to finance it." They say, "Great." But you tell them, "I don't want to sign any of your documentation which allows you to report to the credit reporting agencies." They'll just go back and park the car and allow it for somebody else.
Right.
They're not going. That's not. It's true, but it's not true. If you read the entire law, yes. If you tell them up front, "No, I'm not going to allow you to report," then they just won't sell you their vehicle or their car or their credit card.
That's absolutely true. Let me ask you something, Gennaro.
YouTube is a lie.
Right. Let me ask you this. Now, on average, I know that you get things done quickly. That's why Anthony, who is the lending guru, that's why you're his go-to. But on average, let's just give an example. I'm somebody that doesn't have a whole lot of debt, but maybe I have a credit card, So whatever. Just give me an example about how long it will take typically to get somebody. Go ahead.
Everybody is different. It really kind of depends on the situation. But when I go through your credit report and I see the FCRA violations, by law, I have to give them 30 days to remove it.
Okay.
So at earliest, we're talking 30 days. You figure 40 with postage and mailing and sending couriers and things of that nature. So you figure 40 days. Mm-hmm. That's on the early side. But remember, when I send them an argument, they have the right to send me back an argument why they don't believe I'm right. And I'm always right. So
that's right.
I always win. Sometimes it takes me a minute to convince them that I'm right.
Right. It just takes a minute. And if you're
on the short side, 30 to 40 days.
Okay.
Long side, 5-6 months.
Okay. And if you're just tuning in, I've got Mr. Gennaro Roberts as well as Mr. Anthony Valentino on the line. They are talking about credit issues. A lot of us have them. We're kind of going over what Mr. Gennaro does to combat them and make them go away and start you off fresh, right? So if you're interested or you want to, contact Mr. Gennaro Robert, you want to reach him at 470-905-3131, 470-905-3131. This is G6 Legal Group and Services. Now, if you are looking to purchase a home or sell a home, you can reach me and Mr. Valentino at 702-984-3700, 702-984-3700. This is my team, you guys. I deal with nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. I can say that. I'm going to say it like what Mr. Gennaro told me. Listen, I can be cocky in this area because I can back it up. Isn't that right, Mr. Roberts?
That's right. I'm the Deion Sanders of credit. I think I myself that way.
I like it. And then I always call Anthony my Yellowstone rip of lending. Right.
And you make a good point too. It's I have here's a good example of how credit is so important, not just in home ownership, but in life in general. I have, a person comes in my office and they make $40,000 a year, but they live like they're making $200,000 a year, and it's because they're walking around with an 800 FICO. Then I got the person who's making $200,000 a year, but he walks in with a 600 FICO, and he's living like he's making $50,000 a year. So it's all about leveraging credit, because this is not the Wild West where everything's paid cash. And if you plan on leveraging debt, auto, installments, line of credits, mortgages, you have to be walking around with red carpet, 800 scores. Otherwise, you're giving too much of your money away.
That's very true. That was a really good point. You know what? And a lot of clients will call me, you guys, and say, listen, I dealt with this credit company. I signed up with them, and 6 months, my points haven't went up but 10 points. Gennaro, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I can tell you now that your credit score is your reputation, and your credit file is your resume. So the credit score tells everybody, okay, this is who this person is. But the credit file tells us how you got that way. So your utilization is extremely important. Unfortunately, in personal credit, once you use above 30%, you start to hurt yourself. So if you have a $1,000 credit card, once you use $300, you start to hurt yourself after that. So it's very important to, like Anthony said, to leverage your credit. You want to get the higher limit credit cards. You want to get the $20,000, the $40,000, $50,000 credit cards and lines of credit. That way you're actually able to use your credit and it not have a poor effect against you. Also, you have to be careful of how many times you apply for credit during the year. Inquiries are another huge factor. Each time you apply for credit, you lose anywhere from 2 to 10 points just for the application. And God forbid you try to go to a car dealership and buy a car. They run your credit like crazy, not because they're trying to help you. They're trying to find the best lender that will include their dealership fees. The dealer has to pay for them to write the paper. So they want to find the best dealership fees. And the only way they can do that is they run your credit down enough, and they can they can add an extra point or so to the interest. And a lot of the lenders like Santander and things like that will go ahead and tell the dealer, we will put the dealer fees in the loan.
Now, I don't know.
That's what the dealerships are searching for.
That was such a big nugget you just dropped, you guys. KUMV listeners, if you didn't just hear him, please hear him. This man told me that I said I knew something was going on, you know? When you're sitting there waiting to buy your car and they come back and they say, well, you know, your credit's just not that good, so it looks like we're going to have to put you in a 15%. And you're like, what? I have decent credit. What are you talking about? So that's what's going on. Is you told me once they initially run your credit, there is a decent, offer on the table, but they bypass it and they keep running it until they're able to find a bank that will roll those fees that they're being charged into your loan. Is that what I'm understanding? That's typically what happens?
Exactly.
Wow.
That's what happens all the time.
At the car dealerships.
The car dealerships, when they send an application in, we're going to use Santander. It's a very popular one. Mm-hmm. Santander will say, yep, we'll accept that deal at 5%. Your dealer fees are $1,400.
Right.
So what the dealer says, okay, we'll come back to you. Then they'll run the credit through 5 or 6 other people. Now, remember, each of these companies that they're running it through, they're looking at your credit on 3 different bureaus. Or not bureaus, agencies. They're not credit bureaus, they're credit reporting agencies. So keep that in mind. So if they send it to 10 people, that's 30 inquiries. Those 30 inquiries at 2 points apiece, you just lost 60 points. Then when they go back to Santander, who said yes the first time, now instead of a 7.9, it's 10.9 or 12.9, and they were willing to wrap the fees into the loan. So the dealerships drive your credit down in order to get that $1,400 fee wrapped into your loan, so the dealer makes more money. They're not doing it to help you. When you go to buy a car, you do not want to go to a dealership for financing. I know dealerships hate for me to say that.
That's the truth.
But you want to go to your bank. You want to go to your bank or credit union of some sort, and you want to the bank to tell the dealership what they're willing to pay for the car by using the Kelley Blue Book or JD Book, whatever the book is in your state. People use different forms, but whatever that is, that's what you're going to pay for that car. and you're not paying a $500 tent fee or a $700 clear coat that you don't know about fee. All of those things are wiped away that way. So that's the smartest way to buy a car.
Is to go through your own financing. If you're just tuning in, this is Mr. Gennaro Roberts, and we have Anthony Valentino, my lender, on the line as well. And we're just going, dropping credit nuggets today. Now, as you well know, me and Anthony will buy or sell you a home. And Anthony is the guru in financing, okay? If you've been told no by any lender, do not give up, okay, until you have talked to Mr. Anthony, okay? Because he is the lender that other lenders go to for advice on how to, get things done. All right. And then you've got Mr. Gennaro here. If you are interested in his services there with G6 Legal Group and Services, once again, his number is 470-905-3131, 470-905-3131. Don't worry if you missed it. You can always reach out to me and I will get you in contact with Mr. Roberts at 702-984-3700. If you're looking to purchase a home, we're here to help. 984-3700. Okay, Anthony, you want to jump back in and kind of give us some other examples of, I know you guys have been working together for years. And even when I talked to you, Mr. Roberts, I liked what you did. You had me, you said, well, before we start working together, Monique, I want you to see what I do. So you had me pull my credit, and then you went over everything with me. And this was all a free consultation. Am I right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so
I want you to be educated. I really want people to know how the algorithms work. And so much of what we do now is based on an algorithm. It's not a human being making a decision. It's a computer.
Right.
So my job is to get you looking good on paper. And then Anthony does magic. And I'm witnessing that because I'm living in a house that Anthony financed for me.
I know that's right.
And I think I thought I had great credit, but Anthony got me at the best interest rate. And everybody that I've sent to Anthony, I've not had one. The only complaint I've ever gotten is that he sends these weird videos of himself, like saying, hey. That's the only complaint I've got, is that he sends these videos out. But he said, and I think we both have that kindred spirit in wanting to educate people.
I love it.
Know how to do it.
See, and
I bought a house. Let me tell you a quick story.
Go ahead.
I bought my house two years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell my wife. My wife lost both of her parents 10 minutes apart to COVID. I took the insurance money and bought a house and never told her. Then I had to renovate the house without her knowing. And if it weren't for Anthony, I'd be sleeping outside rather than being inside. So, yeah, I renovated the house. I've done a HELOC with Anthony. He is the go-to. We're in Georgia, and Anthony's in Georgia. You have no idea how many people know Anthony and feel like he's next door. Right. Because Anthony's all over Georgia.
Yes, and Las Vegas and everywhere else. How many states are you licensed in, Anthony?
I have loan officers in every state of the United States.
So literally we can help you any state that you are thinking about moving to. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes. So, and also, so can Gennaro. It does not matter what state you're in. Gennaro can help you right there out of the ATL. Is that right?
That is correct. I have clients in Vegas right now.
Yes. So, Anthony, were you wanting to say something? Did I cut you off? You know I'm good for that.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Gennaro is nothing but humble pie right now, but I make no mistake, he is a beast. Yeah. When I say that, I work with nothing but the best. And being a vice president of a mortgage company, of a billion-dollar mortgage company, I see the best and I see the worst. And Gennaro, he didn't buy a house. He bought a compound with an an airplane hangar and everything. And what that tells you, and I want to say that, is because you're a product of your environment.
Yeah.
And he is so successful because he wakes up every day and he thinks, how can I make everyone's life around me better?
Yes.
And when you make everyone's life around you better, you're a product of that environment, and he's living proof. And so when that's why you work and I work together, is because we put our clients forward and we think, how can we make the person that we're speaking with feel like the most important person in the room? And to, make it by, when we look at what's going on in the big picture, banks have been gradually tightening credit as a result of the Fed's ultra-aggressive rate hike campaign they've been doing. Its intended side effect is a central bank's effort to cool the economy and bring down inflation.
Right.
And so now more than ever, we need to have tight credit.
Yes.
Because we are at the end of a debt cycle. And when we're at the end of a debt cycle, the banks constrain the ability to borrow, and that's the best time to borrow. So that's why you need someone like Gennaro in your pocket to get you that red carpet treatment, and you need someone like yourself to get the house that you need at the cost that we need with the concessions that are needed. So it takes a village to raise a loan. It takes a village to get a homeowner into home ownership. And, I just have to applaud you that you run a tight ship as well.
Thank you.
I know that you don't expect 100%, you expect 120%. And if we give you 100%, we failed. So that's kudos to you.
Thank you, Anthony. I really appreciate that. I've got one last question, guys. What if they're mattress money people? Anthony, you've had that, right? People that just, they leave, mattress money. How do you help somebody that's a mattress money person, doesn't believe in banks, they don't have any credit, Gennaro?
Well, here's the thing. You can't exist in this society now that way.
Right.
That's just over with now. You can't. There's no opportunity anymore for you to not document. One of the things I'm sure Anthony runs into, people that say, "Well, I make a lot of money. I own my own business, but I write it all off on taxes." Well, then you didn't make any money.
Right.
You have to pay to play now, and a lot of our systems are in place to ensure that not only can we track where your money's coming from, how you got the money. So the mattress thing, you're going to have to live off the grid.
Right.
But in order to have anything now, from a credit perspective, you need it. You need credit. I tell people, you want to have credit even if you have the money.
Right.
You want to have credit. You want to use other people's money if you can.
Yeah.
And let your money make you money. Use other people's money to take care of those things for you.
Yes.
So having credit is so important. Again, that credit score is your reputation. That's your reputation, and your credit file is your resume.
You were going to say,
Warren Buffett said it best. Warren Buffett said, rich people use their own money. Really, really rich people use other people's money. And, at first when I see, my clients who have $10 million in the bank, yet they're asking for a loan, years and years and years ago, I thought that was kind of impractical. But now I understand why they got millions and millions in theirs, because they're leveraging debt to be able to incur, because income equals income tax, whereas a debt equals an income tax shelter. And that's where Gennaro comes in, and I come in, and you come in to help them buy that big shelter, aka a real estate asset.
I love it. And Gennaro, that was a great point, Anthony. I love that. Gennaro, last thing, because we only have a couple minutes. You also assist with business credit as well, correct?
Absolutely. My partner, Robert Bailey, is, again, the best. Rob does all of the business funding, from setting up LLCs to holding companies to teaching you how. He's even finishing up a book teaching you how to get business credit. But he doesn't just tell you, he does it with you the entire process. So our saying is we begin with the end in mind.
That's good.
So if you need $5 million, then we start planning for $10 million. And he puts those things in place. Everything we do, normally at my training, because I try to work so fast, because of working with Guarantee Rate, and I know Anthony needs it yesterday. So
right.
He calls me with a client. He needs it. Yeah, he needed it last week. He just didn't call me until today. So we have to move. And Rob's the same way. He moves as fast as you can move to get you the funding for your business. And with our economy, I suggest everybody start looking at some alternate ways of income.
Right.
So business funding is critical. Again, same thing Anthony just said. Using other people's money is the smartest way.
Right.
And if you're set up so that you're bankable, and that's what Rob specializes in, making sure that you're bankable. And if you're bankable, then he'll definitely get you the funds that you need to grow your dreams.
But you guys get people bankable. That's what you do, right?
Yes, we make you bankable, and then we take you through the bank.
Right, absolutely. You said that you even create lines of credit as well. Once you get them to the credit scores.
We do. It's one-stop shop, and we do everything from you bring us your vision, and we take you all the way to the end. One of my very good friends is the vice president of Truist Bank, and one of the things we've learned through him and other relationships is that banks are interested in loaning money. That's how they make money.
Right.
But they're only interested in giving you business funding if your business makes sense and it's organized and it's structured and it's taxable. They have no problem loaning money. But most of the times, people are just not set up
correctly
the right way. So there's a big difference in being a hustler and a business owner. See, a hustler does the work.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're not a business person, but you're hands on it. A business person can step away for 2 months and the business continue to make money.
Ooh.
Our goal is to turn you into a business person so that your business can operate really without you, your leadership, but not necessarily your hands.
Right. That's good. And, we all found that out when COVID hit. When they're giving the business credits, a lot of businesses didn't even have LLCs set up, didn't have anything set up correctly, and weren't able to take advantage. Right?
Correct.
Right. Well, if you're just tuning in, this was Mr. Gennaro Roberts and none other than Mr. Anthony Valentino and myself, Monique Buchanan, your realtor. I just want to thank both of you guys for coming on today. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And
thank you for having me.
Thank you. And Anthony, thank you so much. And if you guys are interested or you want to get a hold of Mr. Gennaro Roberts for everything credit and then some, I should just say, his contact information is 470-905-3131. If this is not for you, but you know somebody that it's for, that number again, 470-905-3131. And then, of course, me and Anthony, you can reach us at 702-984-3700. Again, if you've been told no by a different lender and it wasn't Mr. Rip Valentino, 702-984-3700. We'll get you approved and get you into the property that you, maybe with a hanger like Mr. Gennaro. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate you and hope to have you on again soon.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Everybody enjoy your Saturday.